Carl, welcome to this week's edition of In the Dugout. We'll start off with some positive news that's been announced. Richard Owen signed for the Dons on a one-year deal. How pleased are you to get that deal done?
Really pleased. Come out of the blue, and you know we've done a lot of homework on him, and you know all the reports we get back is the kid can play, definitely play, and so we contacted him, and he came and met with me and Rich, and when he was sat here, I had to tell them it was like deja vu. It was like when I went to meet Paul Cook, the stuff he was saying, it was really big for him just to come and meet us, and Cookie said that, and timing was right, and he'd had offers from loads of other clubs and he just brushed them. Cookie said that when we met him, and honestly, it was just, I just thought, wow, I've been through all this before, so it was quite good. And he was open and frank with us and told us honestly everything going on in his life, and the kid's in a real good place, which is pleasing. We all know he can play. It'd be a great addition to this club, certainly. He has ambition to get back to where he was before. And again, with him, he'd been out of the game the same amount of time as Paul, 18 months. So if he has the same impact on our club as what Paul Cook did when he came and played for us after being out for their own personal reasons, and that little bit of grit between their teeth and then wanting to get stuck into it, well, hopefully we'll see the same results we had when Paul came. And I've even spoke to Paul, and I says to him, I'll be mentioning it was the same, and he was like, good mate, I hope he does well. He says the boy can play, so he was saying he's played, and we've spoke to the clubs he's been at before, and he's never been no bother in and around the group, so he knows. He knows. I can tell when you look in their eyes and you speak to them. You can just tell that they're genuine. I don't mind those sort of characters. They, as long as they keep their head down and work hard and stay on side with the law and all that, we'll give them an opportunity, and everyone deserves another chance. And we can all say players in the past have had loads of chances, but we feel we can manage that sort of these situations. And 27-year-old, plenty of mileage left in him. 150 Super League games, plenty points in Super League. So he's proven. We should embrace him and be grateful that he's decided to join our club. And now it's over to him to enlighten us all and get us all off our seats when we watch him play.
Yeah, he said the reason he signed for the club, amongst other offers, as you said, is because he felt you and Rich were genuine people, and he said they're the sort of people he needs around him in his life at the minute, and for him to it's a case of him repaying that faith, isn't it, when he does go out there on the pitch. As you said, still only 27 years old. When he's had 18 months out of the game, it's probably easy for a lot of people to forget that, but a lot of mileage left in the clock, and a lot of sort of repaying the faith you've shown as well.
Yeah, I'll be honest, he owes us, at this moment in time, he doesn't owe us nothing. We're giving him an opportunity. If he gets back to where he wants to be, and whether that's with our club or another club, if we can't get there as quick as we'd like, then he can turn around and say, he owes us something. But as we stand now, all he owes us is to come to training, play the games, and get us all off our seats when he's scoring tries.
Any scope for any other new signings ahead of the new season? Then are we still looking for maybe one or two additions of quality into the squad?
Yeah, we are, and I've been working real hard in the last 2-3 months trying to get some real quality overseas players. It's turning out to be a lot more difficult than what we first expected. The players, I speak with them regularly, and it's just the visa criteria that's become quite tough, and if we don't get it across the line, it'll be purely on the visa issue, on the criteria. But it's a roller coaster. One day I'm real buzzing and thinking, well, we're a chance here, we're a chance, and then the rules change, and then some test matches aren't, RLIF test matches and not classed as that, so we're back to 3 games, and then they play in the World Cup, and then we're nearly there again, and so it's difficult. It's one where it's been kept really close, and because we don't want to give the fans false hope, but I'm thinking it's about time I do say something, that myself and Richard have been really working really hard and trying to pull every rabbit out of the bag to get it over the line, and it's difficult, but we'll keep going, and we'll keep looking and searching for the games and challenging the powers that be to try and get these across the line. But if they don't, we will certainly be trying to look to bring 1 or maybe 2 more in. But Richard's told everyone we won't bring anyone in just for the sake of bringing them in. They've got to be able to add to us, as we feel Richard Owen has.
Is it a case of watching some of the smaller nations then and trying to pick out little gems in their side? Obviously, we're probably not going to be signing anyone who play for Australia or New Zealand in this World Cup, are we? Unless we push the boundaries.
Why not?
Unless we push those boundaries. But is that what it is then, looking for the better players in maybe some of the smaller nations?
Yeah, and everyone's doing it. It's not just us, but we got a little bit of a head start before the World Cup started, because we were tipped off by these 2, and so we've been on to them for 2 or 3 months, and the World Cup was you need to get into the World Cup, and you need to play this amount of games, and we're still trying. It's but it is, and everyone's looking at Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, Papua New Guinea, all those teams, because there's some quality players in there, and they, if they can't get an NRL contract, they are keen to come to the UK. As you see what I think Gary Lowe is giving them all a bit of hope over there, and I've been pestering the hell out of Gary and the Samoan boys and the Fijian boys, asking how many tests he played, so we've got our foot in the camp of a few of them. We've got contacts in those camps from a few of them. We've even got people on the ground over there going and meeting them on our behalf. So we're doing everything we can, and it's we'll keep trying. We won't give up.
Looking at pre-season friendlies, then, has there been any more developments in terms of a 3rd friendly being announced? We're looking at more tests from the leagues above. Yeah,
I says I thought we'd like to have an answer last week, but we're really close. We're really close with the team. I'm pretty sure there'll be another one. But again, it's up to Rich, because at this moment in time where we are, the squad's pretty small. So if we have 2, 3, we'd like to get maybe another one in. But we've also says we've got an obligation to go and do some stuff with the community clubs, which we're going to try and do before Christmas as well. So it's about trying to rush everything in, and then with the overnight camp that the boys will do, that takes 1 weekend away, and so from now till Christmas there's not too many weekends where we can do some stuff. So we'll address it, and we'll try and get another.
On the subject of pre-season, you touched on it there, the camp that the players are going to be going on. Has there been any more plans put in place for that? What's the plan for the? Yeah,
it'll be local, but it's more of a team building exercise where, like I said the other week, but they'll be doing it rough and camping out in the cold and testing them mentally and that sort of thing. But when you do those sort of things, they have a bit of fun, and they really gels the team together. We'll also be looking at doing our pre-season launch, trying to really get a good name like we did last year with Moz, who came and had a guest speaker there, and we're trying to just in the stages of trying to nail down a top guest speaker, which will make it a cracking night for everyone, and then meet the players, and then let's get on with the season. So we'll look at doing that on the 2nd or the 9th of February, so the players can again all get together before the big start.
And then Challenge 1000 on the subject of fans and that sort of thing. You're hoping the signing of Richard Owen will just keep those numbers ticking over and keep moving up the scale?
Well, yeah, we've had a good week on them this week, and that was before the announcement. So we're happy. It'll keep going, but if we announce these players and then hopefully the shirts will be here soon. I think a lot of ours wait till the shirts get here so they can come down and get the shirt and the season ticket. But again, I'll make sure everyone knows the 25th will be the cut-off, so you need to make sure you get them before then. But there's been a lot of talk when we go and do the camps at the community clubs. They'll all fill the forms out when we get there. So we'll hoping to take the kids' season tickets when we go on them camps, and then we'll we don't want to come away and not give them out, so we'll give them the young'uns the season tickets, and then if the adults want them, we'll have some forms they can fill out there.
Finally, onto the Rugby League World Cup. Then we've just seen Australia hammer Samoa in the quarter-finals, and some big games this weekend.
You've just seen that. Have you not been working this morning? You've been watching.
Always working.
You've been watching.
Networking.
You've been watching the World Cup. You said you've seen it. Have you been watching it?
No watching.
What was the score? I don't.
42-0 with 20 minutes.
Did you just see it on your phone, did you, or something? The score
on my laptop when I was tweeting out Richard Owen signing.
What was the question?
Some big games this weekend in the quarterfinals.
Well, yeah, we need a few of these lower teams to win so boys can play another test match. So, England, if they lose, there'll be a lot more PNG boys in England next year. Fiji, if they beat New Zealand, there might be a few more Fijians here. Samoa, they're blowing it, ain't they? So, I just tell everyone you need to play 6 test matches before to qualify to get the visa, and 6 test matches it's not easy. Going forward, it may be now that these Samoa and the Tonga and them have been real good, they may play a lot more test matches now during the season, but they don't play many in World Cups. They get into the World Cup, they play the qualifiers and they're in, but hopefully this World Cup's made them a strong nation, so the others want to play them now. Big games are England, Fiji. Is it England PNG? England PNG, be physical. Probably see England go. You said there with Australia and Samoa, the class difference. Probably the 3 main nations could happen like that. And if England get through and Tonga get through, it'll be a very intimidating atmosphere in Auckland, New Zealand for the English boys. It will be intimidating, and they will experience something they've never experienced before, and they better let Tonga win, because otherwise the spears will be coming from the grandstand into the England boys.
and your prediction of an England-New Zealand final
is coming true. It's coming
after the Tonga win against New Zealand. What a game that was. That's probably the highlight of the tournament. I think that some people said one of the best games in a World Cup ever, with the way it sort of ebbed and flowed. New Zealand had a foothold in it. Tonga
16-2. There's no way you would have believed Tonga would get them in the second half, being that far behind. That's a statement in itself. But seriously, if it's England, Tonga, and the Mount Smart, and New Zealand, Auckland, that whole place will be red and white, and they're quite intimidating people. So they're lovely people, but you don't want to get them angry. And if you beat them, you get them angry, you better get off that field. No, it'll be a tough one. And could you imagine if Tonga beat them and got to the World Cup final? It'd be amazing. Very small island, but they've produced some players out there. They all do. I think the Pacific teams have been great, and they've lit the World Cup up really, and especially the games in PNG with the colour in the stadiums and all that. It's just been amazing. and we need to see more of that. That we need to get the game back up, and that's really reinvigorated the game. I think it's brilliant.